Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned in to a live tarot throw. Today is November 18th, 2025. It is also the fourth day of our 12-day countdown, the 12 days of the 12 laws of karma. But whether you're tuning in live right now or catching this on a recording, the tarot world is standing by with 4 cards for you to send a special message so that you are getting a little bit of a heads up with this dynamic coming your way. So thanks for tuning in. Let's go right to your tarot message. That's right. Let's go to the tarot cam. All right. In case you're interested in having a reading during the second part of the show, which is in about 20 or 25 minutes, you may request that I use any of these decks because these are the ones that are available right now. There is the Mermaid Tarot. There's the Old Style Tarot by Alexander Ray. We are not related. He sure sounds like a cool guy. We have the fan favorite, the Gold Foil Tarot, which I also call the Black Foil Tarot because I have a lighter version of this. And then this one has a lot of lovely images. It's the Ethereal Bloom Tarot. As usual, I have my classic tarot deck here. These are the cards, that's right, that have all the words on them, like a little cheat sheet so I can learn faster, because I've only been throwing cards since March. But I'm starting off the day, as I'm trying to do every day, with the Robin Wood Tarot, another standard classic tarot deck. It doesn't have words on them, but it does have a nifty little guidebook which I might refer to. So let's get right to your 4 cards. Here we go. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Whoops. Okay, I haven't shuffled the cards at all. There are just 3 here. I'm going to go ahead and start over here. What that tells me is that the tarot world is all energized and can't wait to share the message with you, everybody. So let's be all calm, cool, collected. Let's use the law of focus. Let's invite the tarot world in to share 4 special cards for you to give you a heads up, whatever's coming your way. Here's a dynamic the tarot world wants you to look out for. And since this is STARCARD Podcast, we always turn things into a positive. We get right to the acceptance part of the 5 stages of grief, and we move on, right? So let's have 4 cards for everybody viewing, whenever they're viewing. 4 cards for everybody. The top card is first. The bottom card is last. We'll cut the deck, and then we'll fan the deck. Here we go. 4 cards for you. It's for entertainment purposes only. I'm already having a good time. Here we go. All right. Yeah, cinematography is everything. First up, wow. I think this is one of my favorite queens. It is. It's the Queen of Swords. She's the one that always says, you were right. All right, let's find out what we were right about or how it comes into play. Ooh, the 9 of Wands says, not only are you gearing up for a last stand, but you have experience. That might be why you were right. So, for example, if you're a parent and you see your teenager heading in a certain direction, making a decision, now is the time to share your truth so that they might learn from your experience. But this could also apply in the workplace. You know, maybe you've seen something done before and it might make the whole task and transition more efficient. We still got 2 more cards to go, everybody. Let's check it out. Wow. Styling. It's the world. It talks about arrival and completion. Well, these are very strong, powerful cards. I'm going to flip this next one just to see what's going on. Hey, it's the Eight of Cups card. It's the walk-away card. So I'll just very quickly share a dynamic from my experience as an experienced professional in my profession. I may have learned things or seen things that could give other people a heads up, kind of like a third base coach would. And in lots of cases, I'm sure emotionally as well as intellectually, it felt like it meant the world to me because it influenced and affected everything. But that doesn't mean everybody listens or that everything goes the way you hope it goes. So sometimes you got to be like the guy on the Eight of Cups and just walk away. Yeah, they all had the 8 cups, but they didn't line them up correctly, and you can't worry about it. So turn around, face the moon, follow your intuition, walk away. There's other things on the horizon for you. You can always, rest comfortably knowing you were right and that you tried. Okay, everybody, I want to thank the Tarot World for that fun message. I hope it was helpful for you. It feels like it was a lesson for me. I keep needing to tell myself the very lesson that I just shared with you. Here I go. I gave these cards a little toss. We're going to come back upstairs. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining me. It's the 4th day of the 12 days of the 12 laws of karma. So we're going to go downstairs again, and we're going to review the 3 that we've already seen. We'll take a look at the new one for today, law number 9. We'll take a look at the writing notebook and set up a page so that we can discuss it. And then while each of us have lots of examples in our own lives that we could share, I'm going to go ahead and share examples of how the 9th law of karma applies to someone in my family who's very important to me. So let's go back downstairs now and check out these laws of karma. Thanks for joining me, everybody. As you can see, we have some daylight here, so I'm not so fussy with the lamps. We're doing good. I'm going to move the deck out of the way here. Ooh, maybe a little bit of light, Ray. All right, here we go. So we discussed law number 12 on the first day because we're counting down. We're going backwards. That's unusual. The law of significance and inspiration. Every effort and action truly matters. How many times did someone smile and it made your day? Also, how many times did someone cut you off in traffic and it really did make a difference? Anyway, the blade cuts both ways, doesn't it? Then we discussed law number 11, the law of patience and reward. Every effort and action truly matters. So I'm going to interrupt my presentation and come back upstairs. The law of significance and, we're on number 11. Law of patience and reward. Great rewards always take time and persistence. Great rewards always take time and persistence. I'm sure there's lots of us who throughout the day or throughout the week, we think about someone we know who always seems to get lucky breaks. Things just seem to go well for that person. Certainly looks that way superficially from the outside, huh? And maybe we really know this person and we don't really see how hard they tried to get there. We're not recognizing it. So we wonder how this law applies. Law number 11, the law of patience and reward. How hard did that person work to get what they got? Well, as we learned from yesterday's episode, maybe there's some metempsychosis involved. Maybe if you've explored this topic a little bit, you've built up some good karma before you came into this lifetime, and now you're getting to do the 9 of Pentacles thing, enjoying the fruits of your labor, reaping, what you have sowed in previous lifetimes. Who knows? Well, that's part of the fun, right? Now that we're breaking away from the civilization we're in now, we can all explore what's been hidden from us, the spirit world, our past lives, our energy. These are all things we can think about, and we can balance them out ourselves. We can heal each other. We can have friends who help us, but really we're the most powerful part of our lives, aren't we? All right, so let's go back downstairs and take up 2 more laws of karma. Okay, we discussed law number 10, Again, I refer you to yesterday's STARCARD podcast, The Law of Change. History repeats itself until we finally learn. And then here we are today, number 9, the law of here and now. Living in the past blocks our present happiness. Living in the past blocks our present happiness. Yeah, I'd like to mention that I have a cousin who's older than I am. And I remember mentioning something that his mom, my grandaunt, told me about his childhood. And the guy must have been in his 60s. And when I mentioned it, 50 years later, he was still like experiencing the same emotions of whatever it was he didn't want his mom to share with me in the first place. But I'm not going to talk about my cousin. I'm actually going to share a screen. And if you're new to STARCARD Podcast, well, I'm going to introduce you to my late grandfather. So let me, first of all, put some of these things away here and refer you back to our notebook, right? How are we setting this up? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm using the same notebook that I set up for my dream journals and my other ideas, my altar building. How do I want to build up my character and my personality to meet my new life and my new goals? Because I have to do the work too. I just can't show up. I gotta basically buy the ticket with my own energy and my own effort. Okay. So what I've done is I've gone into the book before the camera got turned on. I put the date on the paper. I never regret writing a date on the paper. I wrote down the 9th law of karma. And then I wrote down, ask, what part of the past stops me from being happy? So that's like a loaded question. What part of the past is blocking me from being happy right now? Again, like a loaded question, because if you were able to see what was inside my mind, you see I have whole file cabinets of things that are on my mind, for better or for worse. But thanks for tuning in, everybody, and helping me get some of this stuff off my chest. So I could easily get into my notebook and start writing. I bet some viewers would enjoy that. They like it when I'm spontaneous and off the cuff, and I do stream of consciousness, and it just kind of comes out. Sometimes it comes out with character and panache and humor. That's great. So I'd like to go back downstairs and show you that I've already accomplished this. Let me show you what I mean. Yeah, you'd like me to fill up the page with some clever remarks, perhaps, about what's on my mind, what's stopping me from being happy. But guess what, everybody? I already did it. This is the Convoluted Autobiography. And it's filled with the things that were on my mind, the things that come from the past that I had to get off my chest so that I could be happy in the now. It was many months of 2024, waking up, going on a hike, coming down the hill, writing for a couple of hours, and sobbing. That was a long, grueling trek to complete this. So if you're really interested, this is listed in the description. Now, let's move on to today's guest, who is my grandfather, my maternal grandfather. We're just going to call him Pop. I'm going to come upstairs here. I'm going to show you a picture because I just learned how to share screens. So let me try this. Oh, wait. It's asking me to adjust some settings. I'm asking you to give me a moment because I'm pretty sure I can do this. Nope, I don't get it. I should have been able to do this. Hang on a second, please. Oh, you know what? It says I'm going to need to restart Chrome. Forget that. I'm gonna do it another way, everybody. Hang on a second. Let me get a picture of my grandfather. Okay. I see we have some friends in the chat. Thank you very much for being patient and being kind and respectful in the chat. Meanwhile, let me share this story with you. This is my grandfather. This was when he was 103 years old. This was in August. It was almost as hot in the patio at his retirement hotel in Fahrenheit degrees as his age. Again, he was 103 in this picture. So I want to share with you I was going to share another picture of my grandfather when he was 102. But anyway, now you see what he looks like. Maybe you see a family resemblance. We got the same skull, I think. A lot of people say I was like a mini version of this guy. This guy enjoyed singing a lot, and he was the guy that took walks all the time. So anyway, let me share with you a couple of quick stories about my very charismatic grandfather. He had an 8th grade education from the World War I era because he was born in 1907. He married in 1938. He and his wife had one daughter. That was my mom. That was in 1941. My grandfather worked for the post office. He worked for the post office for 40 years. And he would often joke, maybe he wasn't joking, he would say it was 40 years of blood, sweat, and tears. And then he proceeded to live a good, long life. However, some things didn't go the way he expected. First of all, his only daughter passed away in 1974 when she was only like 33. And again, that was my grandmother and grandfather's only daughter whom they doted on. And she wasn't any spoiled princess or anything. She really was a wonderful lady from what I'm told and from what I remember. So that was kind of a bummer. And when my mom passed away, when his daughter passed away in the 70s, he lost the best part of his wife because his wife obviously was heartbroken when her only child passed away. And then it got worse because their son-in-law, our dad, moved us all to Buffalo, New York, which was farther away from the Bronx where they were. So now they got to see their grandsons less. And that was a bummer. So moving on from the changes in my grandfather's life, even though he had a long time of the same thing going on, living in the Bronx, raising a family, working for the post office. His wife was a teacher. My grandmother was a really smart lady, especially in her day. She was a chemistry teacher. Go figure. I never realized that, and it didn't matter to me when I was young. Anyway, moving on with my grandfather. So my grandmother passed away in the 1980s, and he was alone in the Bronx. So he decided to leave the Bronx, and that was his whole life pretty much. He left his in-laws. He left everyone, from his side of the family. The whole goal was to come out to California so he could be with his grandsons. We were his closest living relatives besides his sister in Flatbush. And she lived until she was in her 90s. So anyway, some rough events for my grandfather. When you live a long time, you see a lot of your friends and family go, right? So now let's get to the part. Let me tell you a couple of jokes my grandfather and I shared. So one day we would meet, my brothers and I, we would always have our grandfather over on Sundays. We're Italian Americans. So we have Sunday dinner mid-afternoon. And even though it was 4 men, 3 bros and Pop, okay, we would still do it every Sunday. And every Sunday we would meet my grandfather and have Sunday dinner. It bought him another decade of life. So the first 44 years of my life, I'm, with my grandfather, saving for the times, when I was a little kid and we were in Buffalo and we didn't see him so much. But every Sunday, and then when he was like in his 90s and in his hundreds there, I was visiting with him like 5 days a week. I had to force myself to give myself a couple of days off. My brothers and I would try to alternate when he was getting much, much older. So anyway, back to the 1990s. Um, whenever we used to reflect on the past, because we're talking about that ninth law of karma, stopping things from the past, stopping you from being happy. Whenever the past used to come up, my grandfather used to shake his head and say things like, oh, the wheels came off. And you could tell it really bothered him, even though what he was most upset about happened in the 1970s. And here we were in the 21st century. And basically, we were making do with what we had, and we were doing a good job. So anyway, it's the 1990s. My grandfather's in his 90s. My brothers had already gone home for the day, and I'm going to take my grandfather back to his retirement hotel. And we're about to leave, and something comes up from the past, and my grandfather shakes his head, and he goes, oh, well, life goes on. And you know me, I always turn everything into a joke, right? So he says, life goes on. And I say to him, hey, Pop, you know how you just said life goes on right now? And he's like, yeah. I go, well, for you, life goes on and on and on. And he started laughing pretty hard at that. So I'm glad I made him laugh that day. So now my grandfather and I had this other joke. When I was at the retirement hotel, we would encounter all kinds of people, obviously. And some of them would be female, because you're not going to see any females at my house or my brother's house in those days. We were all single dudes. So anyway, we're at the retirement hotel, and my grandfather, he was always so charmed by the ladies, and he loved to charm the ladies. And I remember there were many times when we were meeting some ladies, and my grandfather, for some reason, would start off by saying something like, he likes younger women. He likes younger women. Now, he's an old guy. He's in his 90s or 100s. He's cute, right? He's just saying stuff. It's harmless, some people would think. But the idea was, he needed me to finish the joke. I had to deliver the punchline. He would say he likes younger women, and then I would have to say, yeah, at his age, they're all younger. They're all younger. Okay. And then I'd have to warn him sometimes, because he liked doing it so much. I'm like, Pop, you can't make that joke when I'm not around. Everyone's going to think you're weird. Okay. Don't say that stuff when I'm not here, because you need me to finish the punchline. All right. So let me check my notes real quick, make sure, because I know there was like one more thing I wanted to mention. Let's see what I got. Gee, I think I got it all. So I'm going to say that my grandfather, he lived till he was 103. And I'm going to say that he did find happiness. He might have been a little bit disgruntled about the things that happened in the past, but it didn't stop him from having a good time. He pretty much waited all week long for Sunday to hang out with his grandsons and sit in the sun and sing old songs with the Tony Bennett on the CD and the Frank Sinatra on the CD player. And then every once in a while, of course, we would have guests and friends. And if they were ladies, they would be mutually entertained by each other. And we would have a good time. So I want to finish off the story about my grandfather, because he never stopped having fun. He always wanted to have fun. So I got to share with you his birthday, his 100th birthday. 100th birthday is a big deal. And the retirement hotel is going to have a big birthday for this guy, my grandfather. And his long lost nieces came out from the East Coast to join us. So on the day of his birthday, he woke up, and we were there in the morning, and then his nieces came out, and he got to visit with them. And we went out to dinner at my brother's house. We got a certain Italian restaurant, and we got it all to go. So we got to eat in the comfort of our home and hang out with my grandfather. And then we went back to the hotel for a party. And it was a great party. And he was like, he wasn't using his walker. He was dancing, and he was dancing with his niece and having a good time. So anyway, the 100th birthday party came first. Then we went to my brother's house for dinner. And then it was up to me to bring my grandfather back home. So I brought him back home to the retirement hotel. I parked outside, and, he had to go in the door and go this way to get to his room. So I sat there, parked on the curb, and I watched until I couldn't watch anymore to make sure he made the turn to go down the hall to his room. But he didn't do that. Okay. It was his 100th birthday. He spent all day celebrating his birthday. He got to see his long lost nieces. They had a party for him. He ate cake. Almost every day there's like some kind of naps involved. He didn't take any naps that day. He went in the door of his hotel when I dropped him off. And instead of going to his room, because I'm thinking he must be exhausted, no, he made a right turn so he could go to the room where his girlfriend was. So he'd go say hi to his girlfriend. His girlfriend, she was like, he was robbing the cradle. This lady was in her 90s. All right. So here you are. there's a person I shared with you, someone who had some stuff that interrupted his happiness, but he knew how to make himself happy. It involved prayer, taking a walk, being with people, smiling, singing. Yeah, there's that old vibration still hanging around, but now you've filled yourself up with positive vibrations and a greater outlook, appreciation for what's all around you right now. So thanks for letting me share that story about my grandfather. And now I'm going to invite the tarot world to comment on the ninth law of karma, the law of here and now, about how living in the past blocks our present happiness. We're going to invite the tarot world to comment on this. Thanks, Pop. Here we go. All right, tarot world. This is your show as much as anyone's. I'm inviting you to please comment on the ninth law of karma, the law of here and now. Living in the past blocks our present happiness. We sure would appreciate your perspective, tarot world, on the ninth law of karma, the law of here and now. Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear. Thank you. This is from the tarot world. And the tarot world tells us about the ninth law of karma, the law of here and now. The ninth law of karma, the law of here and now. Here we go. Right after this, everybody, we're going to go to readings for the audience. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see what the cards have to say. The Ace of Pentacles. You're presented with a new opportunity right now. Here you are. How happy we can be with this opportunity. You woke up today. It's a new day, everybody. Right, time to get to work, says the Eight of Pentacles. And even if that means getting to work on doing something that brings you joy and makes you happy, practice being happy. Practice smiling in the mirror. Practice smiling while you're walking around town or walking around the office. Keep your vibration high because you got a great chance to start something new today. Yay! How many times do you want the tarot world to present it to you? It's the Page of Pentacles. Look, even he's reminding us, look at it right now. This is a great opportunity right now. All right, well, where's the past showing up? It's not in the way. The past is not in the way so far. The past is not in the way. That's why we're able to get to work on what we're doing right now. Dun, 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 dun. We're following our intuition, says the Moon card. We may not see all the things that are going on the moon. We don't see the dark side of the moon, for example, but we know the dark side of the moon is there. We don't see all the things that the tarot world, the spirit world has in store for us. We barely recognize that we have life plans and that a lot of the events in our life are already chosen ahead of time before we come down here. But anyway, here we are on surface planet Earth. It's the Six of Pentacles talking about giving and receiving. That's a right now thing. And then, yeah, okay. And the Knight of Cups says you're the knight in shining armor. When it comes to taking charge of your own life, okay, and making yourself happy, it's up to you. Do you need some guidance? Consult your higher self, follow your intuition. Give and take and cooperate with all the energies around you and be your own knight in shining armor. As my grandfather did, right? When he was not happy, he would pray and sing. And he would call his grandsons up. Do things that make you smile, everybody. All right. The past is in the past. Don't let it hold you up from today. You have a brand new opportunity. Thank you very much, Tarot World, for helping me talk about the 12 laws of karma. Let's get to the audience readings. I'm going to give these a toss, and then we're going to move the camera up, and we're going to take a look and see who wants a reading. I just spotted the name of someone who had a birthday. Hang on a second. Yeah. I've been waiting to put on this hat. Happy Happy belated birthday yesterday, Julia. All right. I'm going to put on this crown when I throw cards for you, okay? I'm going to get a piece of paper now and write down the names of people who want readings. Okay, Heavenly Cups. Hello, Heavenly Cups. I'm writing. Oh, wait a second. Heavenly Cups. I think I have your turkey still, right? So today, Heavenly Cups, you asked for the old style. Okay. Great. Let's see who else is out there. I'm going to go scroll up to the top. I'm looking for, wow, more. I'm going to have some homework after the class today. I'm going to have to grade some papers. Quite a lot of chat there. Thanks very much, everybody. It's all very entertaining for me when the show's over. I'm just skimming through it right now, looking for readings. Okay, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Hello, Ascending Universal Butterfly. I believe I still have your turkey from last time. And I know you want the foil deck. Got it. Tarot, please. Hey, that's Arail. Hey, Arail. Hi, Arail. Thanks for joining us. Let me write you down. Hey, I see Missing Time 420. Hi, Jason. All right, let's see what else is going on here. All right, I got the Heavenly Cups. Foil deck, right? I remember that one. Ascending Universal Butterfly, you get the foil deck. Got it. Sorry, hang on a second. All right. I'm trying to stay organized. Okay, let's see what else I got going here. This is NW5. Hi, Judy. Wow. Cali Dreaming. Is that Tiffany? I've been wondering where you were. Hi, Tiffany. Good to see you. Okay, Julia, I see you want the Mermaid Tarot. Let me get you down. Okay. We're going to get to everybody. Don't worry, I got time. Hi, Flix Love. Everyone's such a good writer. I can't stop. I want to read all the comments. I'm just looking for people who are requesting readings. I got to focus here. Judy wants one card. Got it, Judy. All right, I'm going to keep checking here. Hey, Namira's out there somewhere. Namira wants one card. All right, Namira. I'm going to thank everyone for the help. Obviously, I'm not seeing everything. I thought I had one for Namira. Yeah, I do. Ninhal, one card. Got it. Okay. Who else am I missing? Yeah, all right. Hi, Namira. So I've already got one for Julia. Okay. Yeah, really. I see that some friends are helping me keep track of all the readings. I'm not sure if Jason wants a reading, Flicks Love. Am I missing something? Right now, you could type it in the chat so I could see it right away. All right, very good, Jason. That's cool. Yes, Julia, you are on the list. And who am I missing here? So, Flicks Love, I'm going to go ahead and, you say you're on the list, and I'm not sure, so I'm going to make you a turkey, Flicks Love. You could stop me if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and get ready to throw one for you. All right. Yeah, very good, Flicks Love. Thanks. So here are the people I've got. I've got Flicks Love, and Judy wants one card. Namira wants one card. Arail wants a reading. Ascending Universal Butterfly wants a reading with her favorite, the gold foil deck. And Heavenly Cups wants I need to write this better. She wants the old style by Alexander Ray. Okay, so, Jason, would you like a turkey? Oh, do I have another turkey? Hey, Jason, I'm going to take Flicks Love's turkey. I'm going to write your name on this side. All right. So, why don't we do the birthday girl first? And I don't want anyone to be too concerned about what order we go in. Everyone's going to be taken care of. And we've got little name tags now, so we know which reading I'm doing in case you need to tune out and catch up later. Okay. Yeah, hang on, Anchorhaven. You didn't miss anything. Nobody got a reading yet. All right. Just so you could see how I'm getting organized here. We're looking for Julia. She wants the mermaid deck. All right, so we're unboxing for you, Julia. I'll give these a quick shuffle, and then we'll go downstairs and take a look at the cards. We're going to get a special birthday shuffle for Anchorhaven out in the UK. She likes the mermaid cards. These are pretty exciting, dramatic cards. How about a fun, helpful message for Julia, please? Thank you very much, Tarot World. Can't beat this entertainment. I dare Netflix to have a tarot reader on. I don't know if they do. I don't have Netflix. We don't have to have that conversation. It's okay. So let's go downstairs and see Julia's cards. Julia, you youngster. All right. Wow. That's funky. These cards are for Julia, a day late on her birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julia. Happy birthday to you. Let's take a look at the cards, Julia. I need my glass. It's the Two of Cups. Ooh, two people communicating. And also in my book, my lexicon here at StarCard Podcast, here comes a message from the spirit world. I mean, it's the first card. And again, it's like the phone is ringing here, Julia. You're old enough to remember that old style phone. Oh, wow. What a fascinating card this is. I could look at this for a long time. This is the Eight of Cups. It's the Eight of Cups. So you have one figure walking off to the ocean, walking away. What are you walking away from? Well, how about your date fell asleep on the beach? That's worth walking away from. What's up with that, dude? You take a friend to the beach and you go to sleep like that? Come on. Talk about lost opportunity. No wonder she's walking away. Let's see what's next. Oh, sweet. Is this a seahorse? It's the Chariot. Look at the Chariot in Mermaid World. Cool. The Chariot, keeping things going. Again, there's a duality in the picture. The Chariot in the other cards has two sphinxes or two cats or two horses. And here we have two people, but one seahorse. Two people communicating. One of those people is not listening or paying attention. Anyway, let's move on. This one is the King of Cups. This is like Aquaman at age 60. All right, the King of Cups, he's the empathic leader. He's a good guy, okay? He cares about his subjects. Wow, here's a bright sunny day. How wonderful. It's the Fool card. It's the very beginning of the major arcana. It's the start of something new. It's the start of your new year. Congratulations, Julia. And, oh, really? All right. So the Eight of Swords. Hey, everybody. If you like the movie Die Hard and you like action movies, great. I know we all remember that they're just movies, right? Here is the Eight of Swords, dramatic imagery, and it talks about a lot of mental torture and limits and things like that. But remember, in Breakaway Ray's world, this card means as much as you can imagine. So this is like a birthday message here. You know, you're starting a new year. Make it as much like this mermaid's life. You know, bright and shiny, having a good time, optimism, blind faith, and do so as much as you can imagine. Julia, now is your chance. Enjoy as much as you can this year. Thank you very much for tuning in, Julia, and for all your support. It makes a difference in my life for sure. All right. I'm going to put Julia's deck aside and her turkey aside, and we'll go on to the next reading. Happy birthday. Here we go. All right, next. Who have I got? I'm going to go with Ascending Universal Butterfly because her deck, the one that she likes, requires a little bit of digital dexterity. So while I'm still in a groove and not too fatigued, let's get out the black foil deck for Ascending Universal Butterfly. Here we go. All right, these cards are for Ascending Universal Butterfly. She requested the foil deck special. How about a fun, helpful, inspirational message for Ascending Universal Butterfly? The tarot world does not pull any punches or talk sweetly or beat around the bush with Ascending Universal Butterfly. Here we go. Here come your cards. Ascending Universal Butterfly. These cards are for Ascending Universal Butterfly. All right. Thanks a lot, Ascending Universal Butterfly, for always inviting me to read. I love the practice. Let's give these a try. Let's see if there's a story here. I know there's a story here. Here we go, Ascending Universal Butterfly. First up, it's the Five of Wands, guys. There's some kind of conflict, or maybe there's a situation where we have to respect boundaries. Everyone has boundaries. Everyone has opinions. We could still be cordial and professional and polite about it. Okay. That's the fun of being down here on planet Earth, dealing with the polarity and learning where to step and how far you could go and what the boundaries are and learning your own boundaries. Yay. So amidst all this conflict, you get the 10 of Cups, which is the dream come true and the contribution. So this kind of reminds me of that whole concept of coming down to earth and sorting out your vibrations so that when you leave earth, things are better for you and you're better suited for the next time around if you really got to come back. Yay, it's the King of Wands. We're overcoming obstacles. You come down, you sort things out, and now you realize you have the power to overcome all obstacles. That was the King of Wands. And then you get the Queen of Pentacles. And then you suddenly find yourself with a gift, with the power of comfort, being able to thrive each day and being able to support others and build relationships. This sounds like the story of, someone who's advancing spiritually. I mean, I'm just making up a story here. There's a lot of messing around when people are on a spiritual path, and while they're young, they upfront all their karma. Then all of a sudden they realize, my intent means something. I can remote view. I am empathic. And then all of a sudden you're overcoming obstacles because you know how to manifest things. And since you know how to manifest things, now you're really a responsible parent. Well, you're a responsible person to all those around you, even if you're just providing positive energies to them and guidance and lessons. So, Ascending Universal Butterfly, let's finish off your message. Yay. You have the Queen of Pentacles, which is that's the Nine of Pentacles. It's the Nine of Pentacles who reminds you have the fruits of your labor now. And the Page of Swords says you have a new way of communicating. So along this spiritual path, you really have made a change. Congratulations, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Now go get them. Have a great day. All right, next up. Hey, Namira, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the feedback. I mean, it tends to be positive, and I certainly appreciate positive feedback. Who doesn't? Let's see who's next. Let's move Ariel into the flow. And Ariel, I'm going to go with my my cheat sheet cards. Let's see how I do for you, Ariel. The tarot world knows who you are and what you need to hear. So let's see what happens. These cards are for Ariel. Thank you for joining me today, Ariel. How about fun, helpful, inspirational message for Ariel, please? Thank you very much, Tarot World. Your messages are always well received, and they should be. You know what you're talking about. These cards are for Ariel. These cards are for Ariel. Ariel. Here we go, Ariel. Let's see what happens. First up, whoa, it's the Judgment card. And the Judgment card talks about swapping out old energies for new energies. Kind of goes along with our lesson about karma today, letting go of the past so that you can enjoy, the new energies. Let's read what it says on the card for you, Ariel. Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, reckoning, awakening, forgiveness, mercy. Then the Four of Swords shows up and talks about rejuvenation. Maybe there's like a brand new adventure coming your way if you let the universe know that you're ready for it. And it will be rejuvenating for you. Again, you'll feel like you have a new life, or, maybe, I'm just imagining right now when I have a pain in my shoulder, I'm just pretending. And then all of a sudden I wake up and I realize that pain is not there anymore. Now I can do so much more. So we're going to feel a little bit rejuvenated, a little bit healed here. It's a good path we're on so far. Oh. And then the Lover's card shows up. And the Lover's card talks about the strength of two together. And in my book, it also means that the spirit world is protecting you and helping you and guiding you. So let's read what it says on the Lover's card. Love, harmony, relationships, union, partnerships, It does say sexuality and passion. It also says values, alignment, deep love, a choice, and the strength of two together. Maybe you just got traded. I'm going to use the baseball team analogy. You got traded to a new team and you're coming back from the injured reserve list. And now you're on a new team. You got new people you're playing with. So the Four of Pentacles says, hold on to what's precious and valuable. The Four of Pentacles, saving money, security, conservation, control, and frugality. Then the Knight of Pentacles says there's hard work and you're the right employee to do the job. The Knight of Pentacles says hard work, productivity, routine, conservation, efficiency, and responsibility. Maybe some of those things were missing, and that's why there had to be a change after some reevaluation and consulting with the spirit world, perhaps. And then finally, look, here you go. Now you're up to bat. It's the Page of Swords. You have new ways of communicating, new ideas, a thirst for knowledge, and there's a lot of mental energy. Maybe you were thinking of things in one way and you slept on it. And while you were sleeping, you were able to evaluate with your spirit team what was going on. You woke up and you realize what's valuable and what we're going to work on. And turns out we're very good at what we chose. We're making good decisions because now we're the ones up to bat and we have a good opportunity to hit it out of the park. All right, Ariel, I hope that was a fun reading. Thanks a lot for inviting me to read. I appreciate it. All right, let's see who's next. So, hey, Flix Love, why don't we throw some cards for you? Hi, Jason. These cards are for Flix Love. Hey, Flix Love and Jason, I want you to know I got in touch with Rob and we're making plans for Thanksgiving Day. I know you're both typical Skeptic Podcast subscribers. Longer than I've been. Well, I hope to see you there on Thanksgiving. I'm glad you're here today. Thanks so much for coming out. I appreciate it. All right, let's get a fun, helpful message for Flix Love. These cards are for Flix Love. STARCARD Podcast. Multi-continental tarot for the audience. These cards are for Flix Love. Here we go, Flix Love. A fun, helpful message for Flix Love, please. Thank you, Tarot World. Oh, okay. That one wanted to come out too. Here you go, Flix Love. All right, it's the Nine of Wands man. He talks about courage, persistence, test of faith, resilience, boundaries, last stand, gearing up for the worst, pessimism, weary. What? So this notion crossed my mind, Flix Love. It seemed like every year of my 33 years in my last job, it seemed like every year I had to prove myself. And you end up proving yourself to all these newbies and newcomers. Why do I have to prove myself? I've already proven myself. You're the one that's new here. I'm not worried about me. All right, Flix Love. Let's continue with your reading. Yay, here's the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles, wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, and generosity. And then the Knight of Swords charges in. The Knight of Swords says ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking, defending beliefs. So if this was like, I'm gearing up for my last stand, I'm putting all my chips on black. Let's go. Throw that roulette ball. Let's see what happens. Spin the wheel. Yay. The Ace of Swords says that there's mental clarity and truth involved, breakthroughs, new ideas, success, sharp mind, and it even says new conflict and surgery. But I like the way this is going. You already have a good plan. You have experience behind you. You've got your ducks lined up in a row. You're energetic and you're ready to go after the truth. So as much as you can imagine, says Breakaway Ray of the Eight of Swords, as much as you can imagine, stay in touch with the spirit world, says the Two of Cups, because obviously you're working together with them. They want you to succeed. Yay! And the Queen of Swords says, you were right, Breakaway Ray. There you go, Mishlove. Thanks for inviting me to read. See you later, Jason. Let's give these cards a toss and go on to the next one. You're welcome, Mishlove. All right, so Namira out in Holland would like one card. Well, in that case, let's throw the mermaid cards. Here we go, Namira. One card for Namira. Oh, this card won't go back in the deck. Maybe this is the card, Namira. Let's see what it looks like. I think it says it's the Page of Wands. Let me double check. Oh, excuse me. It's the Knight of Wands. It's the Knight of Wands. So I'm going to read from the Robin Wood Tarot about the Knight of Wands for you. Let's see if I can find the wands. Swords. Okay, I found it. The Knight of Wands, a journey, practical action taken in spite of distractions, a change of residence. How about that? I like that. Practical action taken in spite of distractions. That kind of applies in lots of ways in my life. I don't know if it applies in yours. I never heard that one before, that it indicated a change of residence, but it does talk about a journey. I like the practical part. Look, he's got both tools. Not only does he have a lantern, a torch, he's also got a shield. All right. So there's your card, Namira. Hope you're having a great day, or hope you had a great day. Have a good one tomorrow. Let's give these a toss. Okay. Then Judy, Mrs. NW5, wants one card, and then Heavenly Cups wants the old style, so we'll save that one for next. Let's give Judy a card. Let's go to the mermaid deck again. Yay, the Three of Cups. Everyone's having a good time. All right, but let's get a card for Judy. Thank you, Tarot World, for all the great messages you're sending to our friends in the chat. It's fun discussing the laws of karma with the Tarot World. Who better to discuss the laws of karma than the Tarot World? Spiritual entities who know what's going on. This card is for Judy, Mrs. NW5. There it is. Yay. Well, Judy, I'm sure you're not surprised. It's the Hermit. And I'd like to point out, I think the Hermit may have more than two legs there. It's a mermaid, right? So it's looks like it's part octopus. One of those chimeras. All right, have fun with the Hermit card. Hey, anyone tuning in to StarCard Podcast is probably going to get the Hermit card once a week. All right, let's give these a toss. And now, Heavenly Cups. Oh, I'm sorry, Judy. I didn't show it, but I remembered it, right? So there's your turkey. I'll hold on to it till next time. They're still good for the rest of November. Here's Heavenly Cups. We're going to go to the old style. Where'd you go? Hey, Jason, that's a clever line there in the chat. Thanks, Jason. You guys are making me smile. All right, so we're going to throw some cards for Heavenly Cups. STARCARD Podcast, your home for positive, inspirational messages from the tarot world, no matter where you are in the world. These cards are for Heavenly Cups. A fun, helpful message for our friend, Heavenly Cups, please. Wow, I'm glad we picked this deck out. These cards are stiff. They need to be shuffled more. But wait till you see these pictures. They're going to be so nice. These cards are for Heavenly Cups. Wow, we just lost one. Hang on. We lost two. Let's start right there and throw a few more. One off the top, one off the bottom. We'll cut. That's a strange cut. And then we'll fan. Okay, Heavenly Cups. First up, this card popped out face up. It's the 8 of Cups. It's the Walk Away card. Here you go. In this image, you see an elderly farm woman walking away. And I would just say, if you're elderly in your experience, you know when it's time to walk away. Kind of goes along with that law that we discussed today, the 9th law of karma. Let's see what the rest of the message says for you here, Heavenly Cups. All right, Ace of Pentacles. This reminds me of your last reading. The Ace of Pentacles. Let's go to the Robin Wood deck book and see if we can get a helpful message from here. Sorry to make you wait, everybody. Okay, here I go. Ace of Pentacles. Reward, riches, pure contentment, attainment, bright prospects, prosperity, both material and spiritual. Yay! That's where you're starting? Great. Then, look at you getting 2 aces. There's the Ace of Wands. So now there's magic in the air. You came into this adventure with a silver spoon in your mouth, as the old expression goes in the United States, and you're making all this magic happen. Then the Knight of Pentacles goes up. It looks like magic, and it probably is magic, but it doesn't mean anything if you can work at it. And here's the Knight of Pentacles. He's the guy that is consistent. He's the guy that you want on your staff. He's always going to do a good job. You don't have to supervise or micromanage this guy. And you know what? Why not? If you got all the magic going in what you do, no one needs to tell you what to do. You're barely working at all. You're doing what you love. It's your passion. You're riding in the right direction. And then the 3 of Pentacles says that you're building something, and you may, in fact, be working with other people, and there's teamwork involved. Look at those little cherubs, those little angels. What a darling image that is. It almost feels like raising a family. Again, I don't know anything about you, Heavenly Cups, but, you start off with material and spiritual blessings and magic, and you work really hard at it. And then you've got, more people in your family, more beautiful souls to share your home with. Then the 8 of Swords. Okay, so the 8 of Swords, look at this image. There's some kind of fake creature back there that looks like it's going to decapitate the blindfolded person, but that is all in the blindfolded person's imagination. And to make my long story short, the 8 of Swords always says, as much as you can imagine, as much as you can imagine. Nothing gold can stay, as Robert Frost would say. It's been a wonderful adventure with so much magic. We worked really hard at it. We raised wonderful children. But now nothing gold can stay. So as much as we can imagine, it might be time to move on. I don't know if this adventure applies to you, Heavenly Cups. I hope it was positive and inspirational, at least entertaining. Thanks for tuning in again, Heavenly Cups. Okay, am I missing anybody? Yeah, you're welcome, Heavenly Cups. Thank you. Hey, if there's anybody else who wants a reading, now's your chance to jot it into the chat. Otherwise, we might be closing up shop. Well, we're doing good on time as far as that goes. I'm really grateful to have spent the time with you today. Thanks for inviting me into your lives. I don't take it for granted, right? I dress up and I bring tarot, maybe not pastry, but I do bring tarot. I hope I delivered some positive, inspirational messages to you. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and close up shop. Everyone have a great day. I look forward to enjoying the next day in our countdown of the 12 days of the 12 laws of karma. So I'll see you real soon, if not like in 24 hours before 48 are expired. Please check the description for interesting links. I encourage everyone to go check out the interview with Psychic Liz Cross and Breakaway Ray talking to Queen Califia, the queen of the island of California. That's in the Psychic Liz Cross Appears playlist at StarCard Podcast. And anyway, there's a bunch in there you can all check out. Have a good time, everybody. All right, I'm out of here. See you later. Like, share, and subscribe.